Hi everybody, this is going to be the before of my client today. I just need to throw a little bit of a disclaimer. The last time I did do her hair, but we were only able to get a partial done. She did come in with a little bit of warm tones that she did not want, so we did more of a corrective color. Since we only did do a partial, she still does have some of those warmer tones underneath her hair. So this was the after of the last time we did do her hair, just so you guys can see what we were working with before we started today. Okay, so we are doing a full head highlight. So this is my sectioning for that. I do take a mohawk section down the center and I create that into two parts, two little squares or rectangles, if you will. And basically I take a diagonal forward from the second rectangle in the back of the head and create that going towards the ear, and that creates a section on the side. And then I split the back down the middle as well. Okay, so we are doing a full head highlight today, and I do start in the back. I'm just detailing her hairline because it does drop a little bit lower on the side, so just when she pulls her hair up or anything like that, it will be very natural, and I just take a natural weave off of her baby hairs that she does have in the back. So for the color that I'm using the Redken Flash Lift with the pH bonder already inside. So I am using two different formulas, one with 20 volume and one with 10 volume, because her ends are very blonde, so I'm going to be using the 20 volume on her darker areas. We are doing a very full head highlight today because we do need to correct the back, and she does want to go like lavendery, if you will. So I do take a slice off of my section, and then I'm going and lightening that whole section. So I go on top with the 20, and then I pull through the ends with a 10. If it's a little bit darker on the ends, feel free to go through with the higher developer. Whatever you feel, just make sure that you're gonna keep the integrity of her hair. I am not enclosing my packets either because I am doing a full head. I find that it gets really bulky over time, so I just section it off, and once I get about 6 or 7 foils, then I'll all fold them together even though when I'm done with the whole section, so that it just remains as clean as possible, so I'm able to put as many foils as I can in her hair. Okay, so I did finish that entire section, and then I'm going to go ahead and tease up the dropout, and then I'm going to go ahead and balayage that just so we can get the maximum amount of lightness that we can. We are only going to be using the 10 volume because she is already pre-lightened on her ends, and this will be processing the whole time the entire head is. So if we do need to go ahead and add a higher developer, we most definitely can, but we just want to maintain the integrity of the hair. And we want to make sure that we are securing this in place and locking both sides of the foil. So if your client does go to the bathroom, or if they do move, the foils will not fall out, because with balayage pieces, they could get splotchy if they move out of place. So just make sure that you're securing your foils and making sure that everything is done clean so that you can get the best desired amount of lift that you would like, and that things will not be uneven or they will not be splotchy. They'll be exactly the way that you want them to be. Okay, so I finished the bottom sections, the two at the bottom. I highlighted them all the way up and then did the balayage on the dropout. And now I'm going to that little rectangle section on top of those two bottom sections. So I basically take horizontals all the way up, and then I take a slice off of my section, and then I go ahead and put that in a foil. I'm using my higher activator lightener on the dark sections, and I'll pull that down as much as I see dark, and I will feather the top of the foil with that lightener as well. If I do see that the section is too light at the bottom or it does not need lightener, I will just put that to the side, and then I will fold the foil like so. If there is dark sections, I will go through with the lower activator lightener towards the end, but some of the section up here I have already lightened through due to the partial that I did last time. So it might be a little bit too light for me to go in with lightener again, especially because she is really blonde, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this up this entire section, then we'll move to the sides. So just to let you guys know, every 2 sections that I do, I go ahead and bump up my activator. So I basically mix a scoop and a half every single time. If I need to mix more, I definitely do, but I mix a scoop and a half, and then I originally started with 20 volume. So when I go ahead and do that, sometimes I do have left over. In this case I did, so I just added a 30, so my 20 became a 25. So I have a 25 activator that I'm using for this section and one of my side sections. And then after those 2 sections, I will bump it up again. So every 2 sections, I go ahead and bump up my activator just so that it all processes evenly. So I don't start with the same activator that I'm ending with, so I don't have to remove my foils early, so that it all processes at the same time and all my foils will be done at the same time. Okay, so now we are on the hairline, and basically I'm going to be taking diagonal back sections, and I go up this entire sections doing diagonal backs. So I do take a natural weave off of the first foil that I do. I am not pulling through on this section because the hairs around your hairline are a lot finer than everywhere else. Unless it's a virgin client, obviously I would pull through, but in this case I just do not need to because her hair is already light enough. And then I'm going to go through this section doing slices like I do everything else because it is a very full head highlight like I did state earlier. Go ahead and repeat that to both sides, doing the diagonal backs up the side. And basically I am going to detail her hairline with her widow's peak. So basically I do 3 foils on both sides, and I just take sections. I know you can barely see it, I'm so sorry, but I only have like 1 stand at my salon. So basically I just take a natural weave around the hairline, and then I do 2 slices back to back, and I just take based on where her hairline goes, that's where I take, just so I make sure that her hairline is going to have that money piece and it's going to look very, very bright. So that is what I did. Okay, so I'm going to the back, and I'm just going to be taking slices all the way up to that section. I'm just going to go all the way to the front, and then I'm going to go through and tease the ends as well like we did in the back, and balayage all of the dropout, and then that's going to complete your look. For my client, I had her process for 25 minutes because she is naturally like a level 4, I would say. So we let her process for 25 minutes, no heat, and then we go ahead and take her to the bowl and tone her. Okay, so this is after we toned her and dried her. We toned her in the bowl with 9V, 9P, and 9N equal parts, and we just let that sit on for about 8 minutes, and then we rinsed her and dried her so we can go ahead and put the color in her hair. So basically what we are doing on her hair now is we're going to be doing a color melt with a violet and a lavender color. So we do want to see a little bit of the dimension with the blonde, so we're using a pretty light lavender, so it's going to have more of like a white and lavender feel on her ends, and it's going to be like a deeper kind of amethyst color on her root. So when it does fade, because obviously like purple is going to fade on her, we are going to put a little bit of a darker root smudge and then fade that into a lavender.